If you don't have your finances together, why would you be investing in the stock market? That literally makes no sense. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why you should not invest in the stock market. So I'm not a financial advisor. These are just based on my personal experience and opinion. I also have some notes on my phone, so if you see me looking down, that's the reason. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first reason why you should not invest in the stock market is if you are in debt. So when you're in debt, that money is pretty much not really yours. It's someone else's money. Until you pay off your debt, that money is not really yours to invest with. You don't want to really put money that's not yours into something as volatile as the stock market. If you have extra money from paying off your debt every month, then you should put that into an emergency fund and not the stock market. The second reason why you should not invest in the stock market is if you're living from paycheck to paycheck. So you really need to get a budget and your finances sorted out before you throw money into the stock market. Like I said in the previous points, the stock market is really volatile, and how are you going to keep track of all that investing and all the tricks and tips that go into that if you can't even keep track of your own budget, of your own income, of your own expenses? You need to get your finances in check before throwing your money into an investment such as the stock market. The third reason why you should not invest in the stock market is if you need that money in the next couple of months or in the next few years, really. If you need that money in like a year or 2 years, you really should not be putting that money into the stock market because, again, the stock market is a very, very volatile place. Don't use your rent money to invest. And if you don't have an emergency fund and you need that money in the next few months, you really need to start an emergency fund or build an emergency fund before, putting your money in the stock market. Similarly, if you have, money saved up for a down payment for a house and you want to buy that house in the next couple of months or in the next 2-3 years, I really would not be putting that money in the stock market either. The stock market has a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and you really need time in order to balance out those fluctuations. So if you really need your money in the short term, the stock market might not be the right place for you to invest your money. Reason number 4 as to why you should not put your money in the stock market is if you're not familiar with how the stock market works. The stock market is not a gambling place. It's not a place for you to hope that your investment does well. It's a place for you to go in with calculated risk and understand exactly what it is that you're doing. So if you have not researched and you don't have a plan going in, the stock market is not the place for you. You're just going to get your emotions mixed up in all that, and you're going to end up losing money, frankly. They don't like this ads and stuff on YouTube and on Facebook that really sell off the stock market as if it's a place where, nothing goes wrong and you're going to put money and get money back. That's not always the truth. And it's really, really, really sad to see when people take advantage of the vulnerability of others in order to sell whatever courses or lessons they have. A lot of the basic things that you need for the stock market, you can really find here on YouTube. There are so many YouTubers on YouTube that, give basic ideas and basic concepts on how the stock market works and basic terminology and all that, and you really need to familiarize yourself with that before jumping into the stock market. You can also go on Google and do some research. There's probably books out there, little articles and stuff that really educate you, and you should really educate yourself before jumping into the stock market. In order to make it in the stock market long term, you need a strategy. So terms like entering, exiting, overbought, oversold, and so many other terms you really need to understand. You really need to know what those terms mean in order for you to throw yourself and your money into the stock market. You need to get the essential concept of the market on lockdown and understand exactly where your money is going. Reason number 5 as to why you should not invest in the stock market is if you're desperate. So do not put money in the stock market unless you're willing to lose that money, because that can happen. If you are looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, the stock market is a terrible place to put your money. This might be the case for some people, for maybe 1% of the population, but for most people, this does not apply. The stock market can become a source of income, but that is after much time, losses, gains, and experiences. Do not gamble your money, and again, do not let your emotions get the better of you. If you're not willing to lose that money, you should not be putting that money in the stock market. To summarize the 5 points that I've given you guys in this video: 1, if you're in debt; 2, if you're living paycheck to paycheck; 3, if you need the money in the short term; 4, if you haven't done proper research; and 5, if you're desperate. So if you fall into one or more of these categories, I highly suggest holding off and holding back before putting your money into the stock market. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave me a like, comments. If you agree with something I said, maybe you disagree with something I said, let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.